Hey guys, we are in week 2 of our Thanksgiving menus. If you missed last week, not to worry, the link is in the description. Last week was all about being a beginner. This week is all about being a show-off. So if you're tired of the same Thanksgiving food that you make year after year and you want to kick things up a notch, then this menu is for you. We're going to kick things off with my brine turkey roulades with herb walnut pesto. Then I'll show you how to make a delicious homemade cranberry sauce that comes together in minutes. For an impressive side dish, it's Duchess Potatoes, an elegant looking potato that is sure to impress. Then it's sauteed Brussels sprouts with crispy prosciutto and roasted hazelnuts served in a warm balsamic glaze. And for dessert, it's pumpkin creme brulee topped with homemade whipped cream, candy pecans, and ginger snap crumbs. Now if this menu looks good, remember you can now subscribe to my own channel, Entertaining with Beth, where next week I'll show you how to make my delicious s'more pie, a really fun addition to your Thanksgiving feast. If you live in one of those homes where everybody only eats the white meat of a turkey, then a turkey breast roulade is for you. A roulade is basically any type of meat that has been rolled and tied and then roasted. What's nice about a roulade is it provides an opportunity to fill the inside of it with all kinds of filling. You can do stuffing, you can do herbs, and in our case, we're going to do an herbed walnut pesto. With our roulade, we want to make sure that we get nice crispy skin on the outside, but also retain a really moist inside. And one of the ways we're going to ensure that is with a brine. A brine is going to help your turkey retain water, which is going to give you a moist turkey. So it's definitely a step worth doing. Sometimes the challenge with a brine is to find a vessel big enough to hold at least a gallon of water plus your turkey. And for me, I find the thing that works the best is one of those large canisters. It's glass, it'll hold water, and the nice thing is there's a lid on it. You're going to add a gallon of water, a half a cup of salt, a half a cup of sugar, then 4 sprigs of rosemary, 4 sprigs of thyme, a tablespoon of peppercorns, 1 onion that's been quartered, a head of garlic that's also been quartered, and some bay leaves. Just give that a good stir until all the sugar and salt is dissolved. You're going to submerge your turkey breast in the brine and then refrigerate. A good brine usually needs at least 6 hours to do the trick. But what I normally will do is the day before Thanksgiving in the afternoon, prepare the turkey brine, pop it in my fridge, and let it sit overnight. That's even better. Then it's time to make your herb walnut pesto. In a food processor, you're going to combine parsley, sage, rosemary, walnuts, half a clove of garlic, and salt and pepper. Pulse that up just until it's nice and finely minced. Then you're slowly going to add the olive oil, pulsing all the while until you get a nice paste. And then the final step is the zest of 1 lemon. Mix that all together and then your pesto is done. Then you're going to prep your turkey breast. Remove it from the brine and it's going to be soaking wet. You want to make sure that you get that turkey breast very, very dry. Otherwise your turkey is going to steam up in the oven and it's not going to crisp. Now, one thing to know is you do not need to season your turkey anymore at this point. The brine has kept it perfectly seasoned, so do not add any more salt or pepper or you could end up with a turkey that's too salty. Then you're going to take the pesto and put it under the skin, making sure that you get all of that pesto nicely incorporated on the breasts of the turkey. Then you're going to flip it over and do the same thing, just covering the turkey breasts as much as you can with the pesto. Now here comes the fun part. We need to roll this turkey up, just like a jelly roll, all the way until we create a nice cylinder. And at this point, I kind of cheat a little bit. I know that there are very special ways to tie up a roast, and if you're interested, the link is in the description for how to really do it properly. But for me, when it comes to turkey breasts, they're really unruly, and I like to just tie it in single knots all the way down. I know that there are chefs out there that are probably rolling their eyes at me, but I'm telling you, it's a lot easier when you work with a turkey breast. You're then going to take your turkey roll and transfer it to a sheet pan lined with a rack. Then we're going to add our basting mixture, which will become the basis of a beautiful pan sauce once the turkey is done. You're going to add a cup of chicken stock and a half a cup of white wine. If you don't drink, just replace that with more chicken stock. Then you're going to add 3 sprigs of rosemary and 2 bay leaves. And then the final step is to brush that turkey with some melted butter mixed with chopped sage and chopped parsley. Pop it in the oven at 400 degrees and just check it every 15 minutes. You want to make sure that you continue to baste it and make sure that that skin is turning golden brown. You also want to insert your meat thermometer and make sure that you keep an eye on it because you want to pull that turkey out once it reaches 165 degrees. As the turkey cools and rests on your countertop, it will come up to 170 degrees, which in my opinion is really the perfect temperature for turkey. While your turkey rests, you can prep your pan gravy. Just remove the rosemary sprigs and the bay leaves, strain the gravy, and put it back into a saucepan. At this point, the only thing you really need to add is about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Allow it to simmer and check it for seasoning. If it needs a little salt, just add a little salt and pepper to taste. Then you want to go back to your turkey and snip off the butcher's twine. You will see that as that turkey cooked, it actually retained its shape, so it'll make it a lot easier to carve. Carve the turkey, place it on a platter, and then I like to garnish it with some fresh sage. Then moments before you serve it, you can spoon out a little of that pan gravy on top of your turkey. That will help keep it moist while you bring it to the table. I love this recipe because it's easy and it's also elegant. The addition of those fresh herbs and the lemon zest just gives that turkey a really interesting flavor combination, something unexpected that your guests may not have tried. So if you're looking for something a little extra special this year, definitely try a turkey breast roulade. No self-respecting show-off is going to serve cranberry sauce from a can. You're gonna make it yourself, and it couldn't be easier to do. Once you see how easy it is, you will probably always make your own cranberry sauce. In a large saucepan, you're going to add a bag of fresh cranberries, the zest and juice of a navel orange, a cup of water, a half a cup of sugar, a cinnamon stick, and a little bit of salt. You're just gonna let that come up to a boil until you start to hear the cranberries pop. Then you're gonna take it down to simmer and just stir it until the cranberries start to become kind of liquefied and release all of their juices. And at this point, how far you take it is up to you. For me, I like to have cranberry sauce that still has some chunky cranberries in it, so I don't take it too far. I usually just let it simmer for another 2 or 3 minutes and then pull it off. Cranberry sauce will thicken as it cools, so don't be concerned if you think it looks too soupy. But if you don't like lots of big chunks in your cranberry sauce, then you just want to cook it a little bit longer, probably 5 to 10 minutes, until those cranberries really break down. I love homemade cranberry sauce. The combination of the tartness of the cranberries and the sweetness of the orange is just a great flavor combination. You'll see when you try this cranberry sauce with your turkey, you will never go back to the stuff in a can. Mashed potatoes are a standby at everybody's Thanksgiving. But if you really want to be a show-off, then you're going to get fancy and you're going to serve a Duchess potato. A Duchess potato is a swirl of potato goodness that looks so impressive. But they're actually a lot easier to make than you may think. The first step is you're going to boil your potatoes. The potato you want to use for this dish is a russet potato. They're the most common potato found at any grocery store. You want to use them because they're high in starch and very dry inside. This will help your Duchess potato hold its shape once it's baked. Once your potatoes are done, then it's time to really be a show-off and use a ricer. A ricer is a gadget that my mother-in-law introduced to me one year when she spent Christmas with us. And ever since then, I have never looked back, and anytime I want a really smooth mashed potato, I break out the ricer. What you do is you take the potato, put it in this contraption, and press really hard. And you will see it'll turn out little bits of potato that almost look like rice. What that's going to do is prevent any kinds of lumps entering your potato. And for a Duchess potato, you want to have the smoothest mashed potato possible. Then you're going to add some melted butter, sour cream, and some egg yolks. Mix that all together just until it's combined, and then add salt, pepper, a little bit of white pepper, and some freshly chopped chives. You're going to transfer your potato mixture into a pastry bag fitted with a large star tip. Then on a cookie sheet that's been lined with parchment paper, you're going to pipe out your mounds. This is really the fun part, and go for it. The swirlier, the better. Then you're going to brush with a little bit of melted butter and dust with some paprika. At this stage, you can then pop these right in your fridge uncovered and wait until the day of Thanksgiving to bake them off. I love this recipe because they are the most impressive side dish. You bring these to the table and people ooh and ah because they look so beautiful, but they also taste delicious. It's the perfect way to kick your mashed potatoes up a notch and go fancy schmancy with a Duchess potato. Brussels sprouts are a quintessential Thanksgiving side dish, but a lot of people sometimes will look at me and say, ooh, I hate Brussels sprouts. And those people are usually the ones that have had them boiled. And there's no worse way to eat a Brussels sprout than a boiled Brussels sprout. The best way is really roasted or sauteed. And one of my favorite recipes this time of year is a sauteed Brussels sprout with crispy prosciutto and a warm balsamic glaze. In a pan, you're going to saute up some sliced prosciutto, just until it turns golden brown and starts to turn crispy. Then you're going to remove it from the pan and set it aside. Then take your sliced Brussels sprouts and put them in the pan cut side down, just until they start to caramelize and turn golden brown. Once that happens, you want to put the lid on your pan and allow them to steam just until they turn bright green and become tender. At that point, add your balsamic vinegar and cook just until the vinegar starts to evaporate. Then season with a little salt and pepper. Then you're going to throw your prosciutto back in and add some chopped toasted hazelnuts. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Then just transfer it to a serving bowl and bring it to the table. I love this side dish because it utilizes all the great flavors of the season. It also is a great way to take Brussels sprouts and kick them up a notch by making them a little bit more gourmet and fancy. I know that Thanksgiving dessert is usually reserved for pies, but why do the same old pumpkin pie year after year when you can make a pumpkin creme brulee? Now this idea I can't take all the credit for. It was actually suggested to me by one of our users. Oh no you didn't 17. Thank you so much for leaving me the comment wanting to know how to make a pumpkin creme brulee. I think it's the perfect recipe to end this meal and I'm going to show you how to make it. In a saucepan, you're going to combine heavy cream, sugar, a vanilla bean, you want to use the seeds and the pod itself, and 2 cinnamon sticks. You're going to let that come to a boil and then simmer it for about 5 minutes. What you're doing is you want to get that cream all flavored and infused with the cinnamon and the vanilla and the sugar. Meanwhile, in a large heat-safe bowl, you're going to add your pumpkin puree, sugar, and some egg yolks. Whisk that all together until combined, and then you are going to go back to your cream mixture and strain it. You're going to take that cream mixture and slowly add it to the egg mixture, whisking all the while. You want to do it slowly because you've got hot cream going into raw eggs. And if you dump the whole thing in there at once, you're going to start to cook those eggs. Then you're going to strain it again. I know there's a lot of straining in this recipe, but that is what is going to give you the creamiest, most velvety creme brulee. So it's definitely worth doing. Then you're going to pour the mixture into a Pyrex pitcher. Now, again, it's time to be a show-off, and you are going to create what is called a bain-marie. A bain-marie is just cooking a custard in hot boiling water just to make sure that it doesn't crack, that it cooks evenly, and that you end up with the creamiest custard possible. Take your ramekins, line them in a roasting pan, pour in your creme brulee mixture, take the roasting pan to the oven and place it on the rack. Then you're going to take boiling hot water and pour that into your roasting pan just until the water reaches about halfway of your creme brulee ramekins. Then you're going to bake at 300 for about 30 minutes. You will know when they're done when you look at the custard and shake it a little bit. It should be firm but still a little bit jiggly in the center. Then you're going to allow your creme brulees to cool and then pop them in the fridge. Moments before serving, you're going to dust each one with some brown sugar. And then you're going to pop them under the broiler just until that sugar starts to caramelize and turn golden brown. Then you're going to top them with some homemade whipped cream, some candied pecans, and some chopped ginger snaps. And you will see, you will have the most beautiful dessert that is so delicious, your friends are going to go nuts. When you bring this dessert to the table and your friends and family take a bite of this thing, they'll look at you and say, oh no, you didn't. And you'll look back at them and say, oh yes, I did. So if you're ready to be a show-off and you want to tackle this Thanksgiving menu, here's your game plan. The day before Thanksgiving, you want to make the brine for your turkey, place the turkey inside, and refrigerate overnight. Then make your herb walnut pesto, keep covered, and refrigerate. Make the cranberry sauce and allow it to cool completely, and then pop in the fridge. Make your creme brulees, bake them, and allow them to cool, and then keep refrigerated. You can also make your homemade whipped cream. The day of Thanksgiving, you want to make your Duchess potatoes, pipe them out, and then leave uncovered and pop in the fridge. Roast your hazelnuts and chop, keep them at room temperature in an airtight container. Then you want to prep your turkey. Remove it from the brine and pat it dry. Spread your pesto and tie up your roulade. You can then keep it covered and refrigerated until you're ready to roast. When the turkey is done, transfer it to a cutting board to rest and bake your potatoes. During the last 10 minutes of cooking time for your potatoes, you want to start your Brussels sprouts. While the Brussels sprouts steam, slice your turkey and serve it with the pan sauce. Once everybody has finished the main course, you want to remove your creme brulees from the fridge, top them with sugar, and pop them under the broiler. Then garnish with the whipped cream, candy pecans, and ginger snaps. And then sit back and relax and take credit for a job well done. So there you have it, my Thanksgiving for Showoffs. I hope you guys will give this one a try and let me know what you think. It is a great menu to impress all of your friends and family with that'll take your Thanksgiving to the next level. And I'll see you back here next week when we're going to tackle Thanksgiving for vegetarians.